Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your experiences below in the comments. I do love to read them. So, we are reading our second quarter life path reading. I am going to pull the life paths randomly. First life path is 6, so you guys are winners. So 6 is the visionary, justice, affection, nurturer. So the main thing that I got for this reading for the life path number, since I did not receive any suggestions from you guys, okay? Take a look at your emotions regarding this situation. So what I got for you guys is that you've been reliving an event. You've been reliving the emotions. You don't know where you went wrong. And then, even if you did do something wrong, forgive yourself and move on. Right? And then I got this Almost Doesn't Count by Brandy popped up. So that's the song I am going to give to you guys to help you out. The song is definitely about kind of like being in love with somebody who is just not putting in the effort that you need. And at any moment of time, when you express to somebody that you need something and they're not able to give that to you or to even try, that is a sign to you that maybe they don't care enough, or maybe you guys just aren't compatible in that way. But if it's something that you need in your life, you need to take accountability for receiving that thing. And if you have someone in your life who just refuses to give it to you or takes it away, whatever, you need to move the hell along. Okay. So we have our emotions regarding the situation. Let's look into the situation first. We have these two cards. We have the Ace of Cups and the King of Cups. Now, both of these cards are highly emotional cards, right? But the Ace of Cups also represents like intuition, right? And what I'm getting is you had an intuition not to let yourself get involved, or um, I feel like to have feelings, or a part of you told you that, hey, you shouldn't move forward and you should hold back a little bit. And I do think that you are feeling a little regret or guilt from that emotion or that thing. You are feeling self critical, okay, for not following your intuition. Because it was like one of those things where, like, man, I knew I shouldn't have did that. Spirit told me before I did it not to do it. And that's okay. We all go through those moments where you're like, man, I should have followed my gut, right? That's why we talk so much about gut instinct and intuition and all of those things, because they are 100% important. Um, so as a 6, right? So I have you guys here as visionaries. But 6 is really a number that is very, very much so about love. So we have affection, we have nurture, justice. You guys feel everything so deeply. The people around you, you want them to be loved, you want them to be cared for. You could see them at their best. And a lot of times, you guys may be caught up in pushing someone to their fullest potential, even though it's not your job to do that. So I do want you guys to remember that it isn't your job to push somebody to their fullest potential. Definitely, if your gut instinct is saying don't do it, then you absolutely should not do it. So let's get more into this event. This may have been a marriage, guys. This may have been some kind of commitment that you made, even if it wasn't marriage. There was some kind of commitment that you made. It was a legal commitment that you had to walk away from. This guy screams like romance, romantic. He is wearing Mars around his neck, kind of like that Men Are From Mars energy. But Mars is a planet of conflict and war, right? So this is to me, it's given a vibe of having a constant conflict. It's almost like you didn't have a choice, like you had to move away. I feel like the ship should be here. I can't help myself. It doesn't belong there. Um, I do feel that you guys walked away from something that you felt was very important, and I feel like that you made some kind of effort. Right, we have the Ace of Cups again here. You made some kind of effort, but you were betrayed, and therefore you had to move away from something. And again, gut told you, hey, I shouldn't even do this. Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles. It was something you didn't want anyway. Maybe you did somebody a favor, and you have been beating yourself up ever since. Again, being critical of yourself is not um, valuable in any way. You know, we have this idea of what do they call it? Constructive criticism. If you're not doing that, the criticism is useless and it's kind of like bringing you down. Okay, so this was the event, doing something that making some kind of commitment, and that's like through the court paperwork. There's some documented commitment, and it's almost like you got yourself a little bit too involved, and now you want to pull back and move away from this thing, or you have pulled back and moved away, and you're critical for starting it in the first place. Now, one thing I'm gonna say is, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you have to sit in it, right? You can get with somebody, think the relationship is good, or even if you knew the relationship wasn't good, and then you have a kid with them, and you're kind of like stuck with them for, at least until this kid is grown. And you don't have to be stuck in a relationship with them, right? So you getting pregnant or getting somebody pregnant that you don't really care for doesn't mean that you have to be in a relationship with them for the rest of your life because of this mistake that you made. Like, it's fine, okay? It is fine to move on. It is fine to say, hey, I fucked up here, but I'm not going to continue anything toxic, especially if it's a child involved, okay? I'm not going to continue down some kind of toxic road because I have something to prove to whoever you're trying to prove it to, because it doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna move on. This pile is how you've been feeling about it deep down. So this may be some things that maybe you haven't even admitted to yourself. All right. So what I see right here is that you feel like you can do the work in order to bring balance back to the situation. Um, One thing that I definitely do see here is 8 and 6, and then the number 14, which is what 8 and 6 equals. So all of these numbers are in kind of like a relation to each other. Um, so 14 is kind of like this manipulation of boundaries, manipulation of support. It's kind of like, okay, I have the power to do something. I have the power to build this, so I'm gonna do it. And if it hurts other people, that's fine. I'm cool with that type energy. So you may have been dealing with that, and maybe you didn't know. But I can tell you this: if you are in your mind, if you're like, okay, well, this person did this to me, so I'm gonna get them back. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy because it's just not going to work for you. It may work for a one, and even for them, it's going to backfire. Um, but for you, it's never going to feel good to screw somebody over. On top of, you most likely will face a harsher penalty for that, especially if you are a life path 33. So I definitely want to make that obvious. All right. Sorry about that. I got a little bit sidetracked. So, how have you been feeling about it? Like, you can work to bring balance back to it. Like, there is something that you can actually do to correct the situation. And unfortunately, you cannot go back in time. But it's done. It's done. So we have sixth chakra, third eye chakra, mindfulness. I am aware of my thoughts and I ask myself, are they uplifting and are they true? I do this because I know that my thoughts significantly affect my mental, emotional, and physical health. And because I know that my body believes everything that I believe, I am not in control of all situations that come my way, nor am I in control of what others do and say. However, I do have free will as to how I respond. I choose to respond to all situations from an enlightened position rather than just reacting. Okay, so that makes me feel like right now you guys know that you are falling in a bit of negativity. And it feels like it's getting it's getting into a deeper and darker hole. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. It's like when you see those movies and they're like, I don't know, they like robbed somebody in the beginning. And then for the whole rest of the movie, they're like running from this person that's trying to get them. And it's just like, the situation just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, where it's like, just handle it, just be upfront with your emotions, because this is between you and you. Whatever happened in the past, that's cool, it's already happened. The mistakes you have made have already been made, you can't go back. But constantly and consistently thinking about it all the time is damaging. So we have vulnerable here. Okay, so I do get this heavy, heavy sadness. I do get the energy, like with the vulnerability, that you guys haven't been able to overcome this. It kind of feels like you have left a piece of you open and you guys are working to close that hole. So, when it comes to life in general, there are a lot of holes. I don't know any other way to say it, right? We have a lot of vulnerabilities. When we go through life, we get hurt a lot. We have to heal a lot. So there's always going to be something going on. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't fill empty holes with desperation and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes time to fill them up over time. Be careful with any type of codependencies, using drugs, alcohol, any kind of negative outlets. I don't want you guys to do that, because when it comes to being vulnerable, it's kind of like a two-way street. Because when you are vulnerable, then you allow things in. And because you're vulnerable, you may allow the wrong things into your life and into your psyche. So we got the double six here. We got the Six of Pentacles, and then we also have 24. Um, and so this is about love and kind of like, I don't know, I get this matchmaking energy, and this is kind of like, oh, we got a lot of sixes going on, y'all. We we also have the Six of Pentacles, which is kind of like giving back, balancing again, balancing things out. So to me, this feels like you guys are in a position of being more and more vulnerable in order to bring things back to balance. Okay, so right now you are at a point where you are giving more than you are getting. Okay, and I say you because this could work either way though. It could work either way. This is the energy that you guys need to reevaluate. This is some kind of one-sided relationship, and it kind of feels like somebody's on the end like, okay, keep giving love, keep giving love, keep giving love, keep giving love, and it's going to work out. So let's see what is holding you back right now. And this is from moving past this, moving over this. So we have the Hermit, and then we have the Five of Pentacles. The Hermit is somebody who really kind of goes off on their own and reaching into themselves to seeing what they need. And then we have Five of Pentacles, which is like being left out in the cold. So I feel like what's holding you back is you don't have confidence in the love and the humans that you have around you. You feel like if you do go to discover this thing within in you, to deep dive, to take a step back, to remove yourself from the situation, that people are going to look down on you like, hey, you should just stay in this relationship because, you know, you guys have a kid together, it is your duty. And maybe you feel like you won't be respected after you walk away. Honestly, not sure why that example keeps coming up. For some of you, I do get like a work vibe. For some of you guys, I get a family vibe. But that is what is heavy to me, is that you guys are kind of like in and out. Like you're not all the way there anyway because you don't want to be there. And then this vulnerability you are feeling is kind of a duty, right? So you guys really do have to take a step back and not be afraid to just let people walk out of your life. So we have the 17 here, we have the stork, and then we have the 3 of Wands coming up. Queen of Cups does represent love, vulnerability. You see that right here. Um, so what's holding you back? So I said Queen of Cups, we got the word vulnerable again. Is that you are being too vulnerable to others. And you need to be at a point in time where you do retract your energy right into yourself. Turn your back on things that no longer fit you, things that are no longer working, things that are actually, you're like, okay, well, I can't move forward with this because I have this that I need to take care of. So that thing that you're saying, hey, I need to take care of this, instead of doing something that speaks to your heart, you need to reevaluate what that thing is. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Again, this is screaming it. I do feel a lot of pain and hurt here. But also, grief is something that comes with not just death, but loss in general. When you lose something that you were depending on it going into your future, or you were planning on it going into your future, it can really be a hit when it's no longer available or no longer there. And so I do feel that. So let's talk about the stork, because I feel like I just skipped right over that. The stork is here to, I feel like you have been delivered kind of like some bare bones kind of news. And somebody is kind of like using this news to push you in a certain direction or to make you kind of think a certain thing. I don't feel like you have enough information. I don't feel like you were communicated correctly with. And I also feel like somebody intentionally caused some kind of grief in your life, which you do need to also reevaluate your relationship with that person, right? The commitment that was started kind of like under some kind of false pretenses. That's what I'm getting here. So the first step you need to take, all right? So, I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier when I talked about, oh, you got to take care of this. This is about burdens and responsibilities and what kind of effect they have on your higher self. So, of course, if you live in a house or an apartment or whatever, you have to pay for a place to stay. That's pretty standard in society. So it's kind of like this idea of not living above your means, right? And it doesn't only have to be with like physical, oh yeah, I bought this, but also with people, right? Giving too much love to people who don't deserve it, just giving too much of yourself, making a lot of sacrifices that kind of take your away. It takes out of your cup. It leaves you with no energy, no love, leaves you feeling bad, things like that. You guys, that is a step you need to stop doing that. One ring circus. We got the number 15 here. We also have an elephant. So with the one ring circus, it is a lot of energy of kind of like doing it all yourself and whipping it all up yourself. A part of me wants to tell you that you don't have to do it all alone. And a part of me wants to say that, hey, this is the part you need to do alone, right? Um, you guys are kind of like social, right? 6 is a very social number because it's all about our connection to others. And so you do thrive on that connection to other people. But these are connections. You need to reevaluate how they make you feel. You may be thriving in one area, and then in another area you're being dragged down and pulled down. So make sure the relationships that you are keeping are beneficial to you. Focus on your happiness, right? We got the Queen of Swords here at the bottom. Cut off anything that doesn't make you happy. Speak your mind, speak your truth. I get a lot of communicating here. Then we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is upright here. So we have a couple nines, right? And then we have this 15. 9 plus 6 is 15. So, I mean, we are back at it again, are we not? Okay. As far as this, as far as 9 goes, 9 is about endings, right? The reason why I do really like the number 9, because as many times as you add it up, it's a 9, right? 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9, right? So nines always equal themselves. And what that tells me is it's kind of like constantly get stuck in a cycle, right? So we have this cycle of anxiety and this cycle of happiness. Um, Being in some kind of relationship with people, things, groups, whatever, that have you on this roller coaster. Oh, super high, oh, super low. And the first thing that you need to do is identify that this has been in some you've been in some kind of circus, some kind of roller coaster where you're going up and down and somebody is not taking you seriously as they should. So that is energy that you need to relook at. So these are my ancestor cards that I pulled for here. Look at that. Boundaries. Be assertive about what you're not or willing to accept. Okay. And I talked about boundaries earlier when we saw the number 14. A lot of people like to play on your boundaries and kind of manipulate them and kind of push them back moving forward, like tell you what your boundaries should be or whatever. But you need to really take a good look at what your boundaries are and kind of get this revelation of what you are willing or what you're not willing to accept, because at the end of the day, your life is always going to be about you, right? People say, oh, yeah, well, you're married or you have a kid, but think about it this way. If you show your child that it's okay to live in misery, that it's okay to not be happy, that it's okay to put your life to the side for anything, they're going to follow in those footsteps. And if you want what's best for your child, you want them to do better than you. You want them to be happier than you. You want them to be more financially set than you. You want them to go on to be everything that you couldn't be. And so that's the kind of energy that you need to put forth, that energy that, hey, I am doing my best. I am at least attempting to be the happiest that I've ever been in life, okay? Because like I always tell y'all, happiness is always the goal. All right, so that is really all I have for my life path sixes. I don't know if you guys have ever been first, but you are first this month. So this is for your next quarter reading. So for the next 3 months, make sure you guys are reevaluating your boundaries to make yourself happy. Okay, that's all I have. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time.